Click, watch, and connect. Good day, everyone. I am Springzil Daniel, and welcome to OceanClick TV Live. This is our second anniversary special, and as part of our celebration, we are doing a series of interviews featuring our awesome clients. Hosting with me today is OceanClick's shift manager, Placido Sabihon Jr. Hello, Placido.
Hi, Spring, and hi to everyone who are watching online. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
That's right. And today we are very happy to have with us an experienced realtor representing both buyers and sellers throughout the greater Phoenix metropolitan real estate market. Let us welcome Sheryl Willis. Hello, Cheryl.
Everybody. Hello. Thanks for having me.
Hi. Well, it's our pleasure. We're so happy you're able to join us today. And thank you for, being early today. So we had a
Yes,
little bit of, we were able to chat a little bit before we started.
absolutely.
And of course, I believe Placido has prepared some questions for you. But before we're going to go into that, I would like to introduce you first. We have some audience here with us, and I would like to introduce Cheryl here. She's a Bay Area, California native, and Cheryl has called Arizona home since 1996, I believe. And since the late 80s, Cheryl worked for the world's leading research and advisory company. She also saw the tremendous potential and opportunity the local real estate market had to offer, and then began her career in real estate in 2004. So she credits her corporate experience and responsibilities in helping her become the successful agent she is today. And having been through both the ups and downs of the real estate market over the last 18 years, I believe Cheryl brings a wealth of skills to her clients and understands the needs for diligence throughout each step of a transaction. So,
Absolutely.
yes, once again, everyone, this is Cheryl, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, Placido, I believe you have a few questions for Cheryl.
Yep, definitely. Before that, I would just really like to say that it has been a pleasure working for you, Cheryl.
And the
So,
same. You've been so easy to work with. Thank you.
thank you too. So, first question is, yeah, this one is, I'm sure the audience are really curious about your work as a realtor. So, please tell us more about what you do and what made you decide to become a realtor.
Well, I would love to say it was something passionate about the industry or wanting to help buyers and sellers, but to be honest with you, it was a kind of a dare the night before I started school. So,
Wow.
sometimes, you don't always map out your future, but you definitely want to, carefully watch those doors that are opened your way. There's no such thing as an accident of, chance. Take advantage of opportunities that you might not have otherwise thought of. I had been in the IT industry at that point for 12 years I was as data analyst in the Bay Area, and I moved out to Arizona, unknown chartered territory, and was laid off. I think we've all experienced that at some point in our life, and it's pretty devastating. And I didn't know what I was going to do, and I went to a barbecue with a friend of mine, and her husband said, "I'm starting real estate school tomorrow," and I was like, I think I'll go with you. I have nothing else to do. And he said, "Oh, you're not going to go." And I said, "What time would you like me to pick you up?" And so that was 18 years ago, actually around the April timeframe. And this is my anniversary month of 18 years successfully been in the business. So loving it and thoroughly enjoying helping those buyers and sellers and using that kind of a process oriented. I'm very paperwork driven, very organized, which I think really makes a good match with a solid real estate team.
Wow, that's an amazing story. I'd love that. Like, it's just a dare, and then 18 years down the line, you're still
Yep.
doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. That's all.
There you go. And I'm pretty sure all your clients were very grateful that you took that dare.
Yeah, oh, thank you. I hope so too. Most of which are my friends. Most of them still live here in the area, and I stay in contact with them. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah, 18 years. That's really a lot of years in your belt. So
Yeah, you
now
get the
the next
wrinkles.
question. Now that you have a lot more experience as a realtor, how would you compare yourself to the real estate market when you are still starting compared to the present?
Well, well, a couple of different things. I mean, the number one thing that I've learned is that it's never consistent. It's always ever changing, and you always have to learn to adapt and change. I know many people just learned the word pivot a couple of years ago, but we've been pivoting. Well, those of you who have been successful have been pivoting for however long you've been in the business, and that's you really need to work with full-time realtors, realtors that have their boots on the ground and they're thoroughly engaged in it because honestly, it can change like this. And let me tell you, this particular change that we are experiencing right now, it happens so fast, like whiplash of a sort. But see, the reason it happened so fast was because it was intentional. So if you knew it was coming and you were watching the market, as me and my team do on a weekly basis, we actually have the data compilation that we can watch daily, but you can't really see enough movement on a daily basis. So when we look at even weekly basis, the first time when you see a trend change, you see a pattern change, whether it go up, down, stagnant, whatever it is, you kind of make note of it. And then you watch it like 2, 3, 4 weeks is still, it could be a blip. It could be holiday season. It could be tax season. It could be summertime. It could be wintertime, whatever it is. But when you start seeing the same consistency over 6 to 7 week period of time, you know that something's going to change and it's going to continue to change. So then you start looking at trajectories and predictive analytics. So this is where, again, I've been able to take my high tech background, my analytical
Mhm.
background, and been able to apply it to real estate. Our history will tell us what to expect in the future. Now, will it predict the future? No, but it will tell you what you can expect. And then, depending on the direction you go from that, you should see non-surprising results. Now, one of the things that I would say, not really about the market, but the industry, when I joined real estate, we were very non-tech at the time, right? We were still
Mhm.
filling
Yeah.
out, contracts. When was Google founded? Right around 2003, 2004, right?
Uh-huh. Hmm.
Yeah. And still, when people were talking about YouTube, they were like, what? And then when, like Gary Vee came along and people are like, he's giving away the house, he's telling everybody the answers to the questions. It was such a mind blowing experience, right? Well, looking back now, that's exactly how the real estate industry was, though. It was almost like, remember back in school and you're like, don't copy, don't look at my page.
Yep.
That's
Hmm.
how real estate was too. Nobody helped each other. And it was, you fended for yourself. There was a lot more, let's just, our laws have gotten tighter for a reason, you know,
Mm.
because, and
Hmm.
especially here, wild, wild west, I guess I can say that really for anywhere, but um, so what I've seen in the 18 years is that our industry has learned that we can accomplish more and benefit more people by working together. Even if you're on different sides of the transaction
Yeah.
or different companies, whatever it is, it's a closer community today than it ever has been. Is everybody best friends? No, but it's nice. I mean, like I love doing. I've been part of interviews and best practice groups and even training. And I give away my tools, my nuggets, whatever it is. I have a team
Hmm.
now. I love mentoring my newer agents. And people ask me, why do you give it all away? I'm like, well, because it makes my life a whole lot easier when I'm also working with a professional, experienced realtor. So, anyways, so I love that part that we've evolved from it. And as far as the market, you could have, like, it was a different market 3 months ago, and it's going to be a different market again in 3 months. It's changing that
It's
fast.
always changing,
Yeah, yeah,
especially now these days. Together with the technology, like you said, it was Google was there 2004, but then now there's a lot of social media
instant,
pages. There's
right?
yes, and there's always that change happening. Even for us as a virtual solutions company, we have to
Yep.
make sure that we are always up to date every month as to all those changes that's happening. And more so for your industry. So, June, you still have more. I believe he does have a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
I can totally relate to the change thing. That's really something that we have to adapt to. So, yeah, challenges. What have you had to face as a realtor? Could tell us more about that.
Oh, goodness. Well,
I love
that could go in a million different directions. Um, I think that there's a meme out there that says, as a realtor, what is it we really do for a living? And it's literally like, we're a house cleaner, we're a landscaper, we're a counselor, we're a financial advisor. We're like, we wear so many hats, and I think that, um, to answer your question, like, what number one, find what you do well, and the passion will come with it. Okay. So if you try to be something you're not, it's not going to work. It isn't, if you are really good in front of a camera, then get in front of a camera, right? That's how you generate your leads. If you're really good on the phone, get on the phone. Don't try to follow what everyone else is doing. And let me tell you, internet leads, not my cup of tea. I've tried. And as a realtor, you have to decide sometimes before you even know, where are you going to spend your money to become a better realtor and to generate more business. And so some people turn to internet leads. And I have to say, I tried it. And I have to tell you, I failed
Okay.
miserably, right? Miserably. I say there's two things don't ever let me do. Don't let me buy a used vehicle, and don't let me do internet leads, because they're like, oh, you don't want to buy a house? Okay. No, you have to ask the next question. I'm like, I don't like rejection. That's really what it is. You
Hmm.
have to be okay
Yeah.
with rejection, you know? And so I hire people that do a better job at things than me.
Hmm.
That's what makes a successful realtor, right? And kind of, not that I meant to really parlay this into you guys, but after I'd been in the business for a long time, I learned what I did best. What is that? I'm a wealth of knowledge. I love sharing, like I said, mentoring other agents, and I
Hmm.
also love talking about my market. And I have this number brain. Like, some people love math and some people don't. I love math, and so it really works again in this business. So I was able to figure out 18 years later. It didn't take me quite 18 years. But again, you have to kind of pivot. And we were looking at a market about 3 or 4 years ago. Well, actually 2016. So 6 years ago, the market was somewhat flat, which, by the way, get used to it, because that's where we're heading. We're heading to a very temperate, moderate market. And so I was really asking myself, what can I do to separate myself? And the first thing was internet leads. And the second part was a passion for promoting local businesses. And so, again, being a member of the community, I was on a lot of local committee, local downtown committee. I can't even say that right. Why can't I say that right? Committees. Oh my goodness. And I helped the whole redevelopment plan. I got to know the mayor, the city council, and so I was doing all this, and then I met all these small business owners, and I was like, oh, how fun! I want to promote you. So I started doing Facebook Lives, and I have to tell you, I sucked at Facebook Lives. But you know what? In 2016, everyone sucked at Facebook Lives. They were a new concept, right? And so I became really, well, you step back from your vanity a little bit, You don't care if you don't look right or your hair is not perfect. You just make sure the sun's not right in your face or vice versa. Like that's all you're worried about, right? Is making sure that the viewer is in, being able to see what you want to show and hearing what you want to share. And I said, and you just kind of let it go. And that kind of parlayed into me having fun on the video. And then that kind of parlayed into YouTube. And then it was the videos, the video editing. When you hear about it takes 8, I'm not kidding you. It took me one time, the very first time I was doing a charity event. I do a lot of local charity events, and I was like, oh, I can do. We had it was a movie night, and so it was kind of set up out in the middle of the field, and we had a movie that was playing. It was in the summertime, and it was The Grinch That Stole Christmas. We were kind of like, okay, everybody, would put your Christmas hats in the middle of summer, right? And it's hot here in the summer, right? And we had some live music artists performing while the sun was still going down and all the cars were coming. And I was like, oh, I could do kind of an intro. I could do an intro before the movie starts, kind of thanking everyone for coming and their donations were going to this, benefit. And thank you to the musicians and thank you to the. So, anyways, it probably took me like 20 hours to do like 90 seconds. I'm not kidding you. It was insane. And
Understandable.
and that's when I immediately realized the value of paying professionals to do what they do best so that you can do
Hmm.
what's best.
What you do best.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of,
exactly.
I mean, that is how I got to you guys.
That's very true.
Yes.
That's why you're with us, and
I don't have to do
Placido and
editing
his
anymore. Oh my gosh.
team, they're able to do that for you. Um, so yeah, we're grateful actually that for people like you who have that kind of mindset, like you have your expertise, but you do know that there are some aspects of what you do that needs other people with a different kind of expertise, which, like us, is in video editing.
So I noticed a question here, so I wanted to
Hmm.
address it to Rose Rama. Thank you so much for putting in a comment here. And if you guys want to open it up, let me just message out to the audience. If you guys would love to, if you would like to ask me some real estate questions, just kind of real broad on what's going on and what you should do, I'd be glad to answer those questions. Um, Rose asks, how many properties should I see before I make an offer on one? Well,
Hmm.
you know what? If you find the first one, it's your dream home, then you found it, right? There's no magic number. And let me tell you, a year ago, I had clients that they would travel. Their whole family would come out here. It cost them maybe $1,500, $2,000 to come down for the weekend, and they were like, "I want this kind of a home, a single level in this area." They would get here, and not kidding, there were. I remember one particular client. There was zero available,
Oh.
right? So what I tell people too is what you start with isn't necessarily what you finish with. It's amazing how people think they need or want this, and
Hmm.
then they realize there's all these other opportunities or options, etc. So to answer that question, how many properties should you see? However many it takes until you find the perfect home, whatever that looks and feels like. And here's another thing. Today, again, the market has changed everywhere. Like I said, 6 months ago or a year ago, if a client came to town, I specialize in relocation. If a buyer came to town, it was like, what's on the market right now, right? And they
Hmm.
might have wanted one city, but because there wasn't a whole lot of inventory, we had to expand it a little bit. In today's market, the buyer has the opportunity to do a lot more research and pick the area, the neighborhood, even specifically that they're looking for. Get
Hmm.
on a plane, come on out here and look at it in person before they even make an offer. Most people, if they're, and again, it depends on if you live in the area or if you're also relocating from another city. If you're working with a team of professionals, obviously, I've totally embraced technology with YouTube, obviously getting the information out. I then follow up all my inbound calls with Zoom. I was doing a form of Zoom before COVID, but it sure kind of like, got us to that next level. And let me
Hmm.
tell you, by the time they came to town, they knew exactly where they were going, what they were spending, and what they were looking for because we did a lot of preliminary work. Days of flying into a town and just having a realtor drive you around and look at homes is not the way to buy a home today. You're doing a whole lot more research online. You're doing a
Yeah.
lot of work ahead of time. And you're like, I have another client that's coming. They've already said, we'll be arriving on the 9th. They have another one coming in tonight at 6 p.m. They're flying in. And they actually got an Airbnb for a few weeks. So we'll be out
Mhm.
looking for homes. But they know exactly where they're going to be buying. And they got an Airbnb in the area that they're going to be buying, right? So they can
Mhm.
learn. And who knows, after they're here for a couple of days, they might go, I don't like this area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of research, but in the end, it's also very important to really go there and have that feel for that area as well. But
I
then
agree.
it saves you time when you've already done the initial research.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a level. We just had a meeting online today with a gentleman from Toronto, and
Hmm.
he's never been here. And it
Hmm.
was so in this conversation, he was like, "Oh, I saw, from videos. Obviously, he didn't mean just mine, but he's like from
Hmm.
videos. I like Glendale, I like Scottsdale." So immediately when he names these two areas in the Phoenix metro area, I can tell he's looking for entertainment. Those are the two
Hmm.
areas that have the majority of the entertainment. And then he
Hmm.
throws in another area called Surprise. And I was like, where did you hear about Surprise? And so he was like, oh, another video. And I said, let me tell you what's a little bit different. Content is so important and
Hmm.
honesty is so important. So one of the things I told him was, it's my job to report my opinion
Hmm.
and let people know the truth before they get here. If I went to every single city and I said, this is an amazing city and I love it and it's the best and everything, now I'm being salesy, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So, my first video that this particular part of town, I absolutely love. Obviously, 15,000 people love it too, because that's how many people live there. But we
Uh-huh.
have 7 million people in Phoenix, so that's a pretty small percentage, right? And I knew, I mean, I guess the best way I could say it is, it was a very sleepy town.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not a youngin'; I'm in my late 50s, but I would even be a little bored there. Like it was the median age is closer to 60, which means there's people a lot older that live there.
Hmm.
And a lot of them leave in the summertime because that's probably only their winter home. So I reported exactly what I experienced. There was not much shade. There was not much to do. There was literally less than 10 restaurants to choose from. There, like everybody was over 70 that I ran into. Just all these, and I shouldn't say run into, beautiful views, but there was houses pelted all over the mountains. I don't know. My idea of nice views are just mountains, not houses on mountains, like
Hmm.
Hollywood Hills in Southern California. I know people love looking at houses all over the mountains, but I don't know. I kind of like just the mountains. So I said what it was like in my video. And I said, I'll be honest with you, Surprise has some great homes for lower than our median. You can get a bigger bang for your buck there, but you're going to drive everywhere. There's nothing
Hmm.
close by. Now, probably in 15 to 20 years, there will be a lot more. There'll be hospitals, there'll be shopping, there'll be, entertainment, perhaps, maybe more like movie theaters, like not a big entertainment section. So he was like, oh, that's interesting. This other person on the videos made it sound like there was so much going on. I go, no, walking your dog at night, that's pretty much about it. You're right by the Air Force Base, so you got jets flying over. 30 minutes to the nearest like spring training. And he was like, oh, okay, well, so anyways, be open and honest always as a
Hmm.
realtor. Um, and if you don't want to hurt a client's feelings, like if they say, I love Surprise, great. I ask why. Like
Hmm.
help
Yeah.
me understand what it is about Surprise that you love. Let's make sure we get you by that park, that school. Maybe your husband's in the military,
Mm.
whatever it might be, and that way you're not being negative, right? But find
Yeah.
out what's important to them. Yeah.
Very true. And that only comes, that kind of knowledge only comes with experience. And these stories, these amazing stories can
I
only
have
come
stories nonstop, it seems like. That's what happens when
by
you're in the beauty
experience.
salon.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. And so, June,
Yeah.
do you
So
still have a few more
there's
questions?
still more coming. So I you mentioned that internet leads are not your cup of tea, but what can you say about the strategies that have successfully generated quality leads to you as a realtor so far?
YouTube. YouTube is by far the best. And I'm not saying that because I'm on the show, but I have to tell you, it is completely different for two reasons. Number
Mm,
one, people are calling you, you're not calling them. You're not chasing them down, right? They have watched a multitude. Obviously, that gentleman I was just talking about from Toronto, he watched a bunch of other videos, which is great because then you kind of get more information. But they're going to reach out to the agent that is provided that they most resonate with, that they feel a personality
mhm.
connection. And this is why most of the clients that I move in wind up being my great friends. Like, I just had dinner, not kidding, like, I have one client that moved here from upstate New York, and they love cooking me Italian dinners, so I get to visit with them usually about every other month. On a Friday, they invite me over for something home cooked. We had lasagna last weekend. And then on Saturday night, I had another couple that I helped get not too far away from me. And they were like, we want to bring over barbecue. And I was like, what? They're like, just let us stop by. So they can, I have a big client party once a year at my house. So everybody, like, it's more of an extended family. So they came over, we barbecued on my new barbecue, and it was a lot of fun. So that's how I stay in touch with all of my clients as well. But kind of back to the, what was it? And where do we start from? The leads.
Mhm.
With YouTube, they connect with you,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I love. So number one, yeah, like they have picked me to work with. That's the best part. And number two, because of my videos and because I also do the Zoom calls, the people that are calling me are really truly ready to buy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those are quality leads that
Yes.
you've, because, as you've mentioned, they choose you based on the personality and the content and the information that you give them. So they've already watched your videos. They already know who you are, and they see you and they go, I want to work with this person.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I
And
have
so it's
everything, I have all my social media tied together. So it's so cute, when sometimes when I answer the phone and they're like, like, hi, this is Cheryl. And they're like, this is Cheryl, the one that does the videos. And I'm like, yeah. And then there was, they're like, I did a whole lot of research on you. I went on your Google reviews, Facebook
mm,
reviews, Instagram. They're like, I said, this can't really be true. Like, it can't be this good. And now that I've helped them buy a home, they're like, it really was. Like, you're really who you are. And so that's nice. And I think as realtors too, there's a stereotype, like an older, not very personable, kind of just door opener or pushy salesperson. That's not me at
mhm.
all.
We can't tell.
Yeah. I heard from someone else as well. You sort of become a mini celebrity, and it really gets you going.
Well, and you probably see my videos too. So some of the things I'm
Exactly.
like, oh my God, I can't even believe I said that. The tongue twisters, the bloopers. Yeah.
But it is what makes it fun, though, right? It
Yeah,
has that
exactly.
personality.
Yeah.
So yeah, your YouTube channel. What impact did OceanClick's video editing service have on your workload and on your channel success?
Well, I think first of all, people don't put enough value on the lack of stress, like removing the stress. I think that honestly was the biggest for me. My previous editor was doing less than par work, and so I was stressing when I wasn't looking, and then it never failed when I went back to look, that I would be just, I mean, just, you don't need that in your life. You don't need that high and low, and having to, that's one of the things I do not like micromanaging. I just want to shoot my gun and it just goes. And, with OceanClick, they had an onboarding process. We had a meeting. They said, "What do you want to do?" I said this, and I told them I was a little not trusting just because of my experience. They were like overly accommodating, like, "How would you like to do this?" We said, "Okay, well, we'll get these done." I think we're doing one video a week at that time, and then they'll send me the link. I take a look at it. If there was any errors, there was a few things that we had to kind of just learn, my terminology or mannerism or whatever. And I don't even think it was 30 days. And then we switched to 2 videos a week, and now I never even look at them. I don't at all, and I sleep at night.
Oh,
That's the
that's
best
amazing.
part.
That's the best part, really,
Yeah,
right? When you know you have a team behind you that you can trust that they will do what they're supposed to be doing,
you got it.
and you can sleep at night without that stress, without having to micromanage, and it's there. You know
Yeah,
that you can rely on your team to provide you with the service that you need, and then with your videos
you
in
got it.
YouTube.
Yeah. And everybody's so nice. I'm like, hey, can you guys do this? Absolutely. No problem. You got it. And it seems like it's 24/7. Like, I don't know if you guys work my night or my morning, but in my mind, you're working all the time. So,
There you go. Yeah, yeah. That we do because we can work both shifts, night for you, day for you. That's fine with us.
awesome. Yeah. No, it's the best relationship I've ever had.
Oh, that's such a huge compliment. Thank you so much. I think
Yes.
June, that makes June very happy.
Yes, yes, definitely. So yeah, we do have a quality checker who is always adapting to your preferences. So that's what he did for the most part in the early stages, and
Hmm.
now yeah, he's got it down to a T.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you
He's
go.
the best. Now, if you could just find me a man.
We'll get there.
Okay. I'll send you my
Oh,
criteria.
yeah, yeah. We actually have clients who are in that industry. So
Oh,
go ahead.
really?
Yes, yes, we do. And so yeah, send in your criteria. We'll pass it along
There you go.
because although we have a lot of our clients are in the real estate industry, we do have some coaches and we have some love coaches as well.
Aw.
Aw. So yeah. But anyway, guys, just so you know, we have posted the link to Cheryl's YouTube channel at the comment section. So do please check it out, and you'll see more of her and her videos and her personality there. So yes, please
All
do
right.
click on those links. So, Placido, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, our audience might also want to know, aside from being a realtor, what are your other interests and hobbies?
Well, I love the outdoors, and I'll tell you, Arizona, if you love the outdoors, there is something to do, literally. Even in this crazy summer, this last weekend, I was way up north. I was up in Sedona and Flagstaff and hiking and water and creeks and lakes. So I really love the outdoors. Thanking God for, creating all this and allowing us to enjoy it. And That's it, hiking. Yeah, hiking and working.
So the man
Well,
needs to like outdoors.
Yes,
he
yes,
was
yes,
asking
yes.
for that.
Come on, come on, up, right here.
Someone who can keep
Come here,
up with you
come here.
going
Up.
outdoors.
Have you
Oh,
ever heard?
and we,
Have you ever heard the term "must love dogs"?
oh, must
Oh,
love dogs.
Must love dogs. Say hi. Say hi.
He has to
It's a
love
he.
dogs as well.
That's the love
Oh,
of my
can
life.
you introduce? Can you introduce
This is Levi, and he
Levi?
loves
Okay, there
dogs.
you go.
Levi.
Hi,
Yes.
Levi.
And he is a
Uh,
very high energy dog, but he is so well
mhm.
trained. He sits at my feet the entire time I work, which is mostly video and behind the camera. And he goes out to home inspections and showings with me, and he's in a lot of my videos. And then when it's time for Mama to work, he's just here. And then when we're not working, he knows it's dog time.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's awesome. Because here in our office as well, we do have those pet days that we have because we can't bring them all the time, right? So we've decided, like, okay,
Yeah.
from time to time, we're gonna allow everyone to bring their pets. I think some brought
Well,
their
I think if you
well,
have too many pets all at once, it kind of creates a little bit of a problem, right?
oh,
I agree.
we give the the best dressed pet award to
Oh,
all
how
those
cute is that?
ones. Yeah.
So real
So,
quick, I'm guessing we're kind of wrapping up here. Rancel
mhm.
just asked a question: is today a
Yeah.
good time
Hmm.
to buy real estate? So here's the thing. We always say that if you plan on staying in wherever you live for 3 years or less, then renting most often is your better bet. Okay. In
Hmm.
a normal market, you don't earn enough appreciation to sell your home within a 3 year time frame. We've just been crazy spoiled over the last couple of years because it's just gone crazy, right? So if you are going to be in a home over 3 years, which normally it's longer, I myself have been in my same home for 26 years. I have people that think they're only going to be in a home for 3 or 5 years, and they are still in the same home 10, 12 years. People are staying in homes a lot longer. And especially right now, too, with if you currently own a home, then you have a lower interest rate, right? You're earning appreciation already and you have a lower interest rate. Now, if you are a tenant, if you're a renter, and you plan on being wherever you choose for more than 3 years, it makes sense for you to buy real estate, even right now, while we're probably at one of the highest that we're going to see in a little while. In some markets, we'll see a little bit market correction over the next 6 months to 12 months. Some areas as much as 5 or 10%. But long term, you're going to gain back that 5 or 10% and probably about 3 to 4% per year. There's all kinds. You can go online, you can look at long-term appreciation, estimates or whatever. There's a whole bunch of them out there right now. What we were looking at, and now I'm talking numbers again, but what we were looking at over the last couple of years, depending on where you live, somewhere between 25 and 30% appreciation. That's just
Hmm.
insane. That's just absolutely insane, right? So right now, people are used to that. So the thought of it only being 5% is scary, but that's what we want.
Yeah.
We really do want. We want a solid community where buyers and sellers have a little bit of, benefit on each side. Sellers need buyers, buyers need sellers. And when it's only
Hmm.
at about a 3 to 5% appreciation, it's a little bit of a seller's market, but not so much that a lot of the stuff that was happening over the last couple of years, which I have to tell you, I got sick. You want to talk about stress? I literally, I wanted to throw up the first time I had to tell my client the only way they're going to get this home is they have to waive their appraisal, come in with the cash difference,
Hmm.
and waive the inspection and take the home in the current state it's in. That's horrible.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
terrible. Well, now buyers get to do their inspections. They don't have to pay over appraised value. And now sellers are screaming, look, no one's always going to be 100% happy. But
Yeah.
once we get
True.
to a balanced market and we all get used to it, no one's going to be talking about real estate anymore because it's just going to be nice and like steady. So if you need a roof over your head, and I'm not talking about investment. I'm not talking about investor
Hmm.
properties at all whatsoever. If you are buying a home for a roof over your head and you're going to stay there over 3 years and you can afford the monthly payment, yes, buy the house today.
Okay.
You will be thrilled because you know what inflation does? It doesn't raise your home price, it raises your rent. And when I
Mm-hmm.
hear people that I've been talking to for years, I'll buy next year, I'll buy next year. I'm like, now they're complaining about their rent being, $500 to $800 more expensive than it was when we first started talking. But I'm like, if you had bought, your monthly payment would be the same every single month. Now what you're doing every year is when your lease renews is you're going, oh my gosh, how much
Yeah.
is it go up? How many, like, you have more control over your life when you own your own home. And
Mm.
long term, it's the best way for financial stability for your future. For your future. Yeah. There
Wow.
you go.
Thank you so much for that advice. I'm pretty sure we learned a lot from you. I did. I learned a lot from you today, and
Good.
we wish you all the best for your business and, of course, with Levi as well.
Yeah, and if
Um,
anybody has any questions and you see in all my YouTube videos, please make the
mhm.
comments. I'll get back to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. We'll do that. And for those of you watching, you know where to find Cheryl. The links are there in the comment section. So go and watch some of her videos. And again, if you have questions for her in all those videos, please do give her leave a comment, ask questions, and
Call,
she'll get back
text,
to you.
email, days, nights, weekends. We got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona.
There you go. That's it. Well, to all our audience, we hope that you learned something from this episode, just as I've learned something today. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions or inquiries. And you may also contact us through different social media platforms. So just search OceanClick Virtual Solutions on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all the other social media platforms. And you can also book an appointment with us through our website, which is oceanclick.biz. And please also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is OceanClick TV. And lastly, don't miss our next episodes for the next 6 week anniversary special. Once again, Cheryl, thank you so much for joining us today. And this has been Springzil Daniel with Placido Sabihan Jr., and this is Ocean Click TV. Click, watch, and connect. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.